Right. Well, there's going to be a few shameless references to Jaguar Garage, one of my favourite YouTube channels, as it is for many people, I think. I'm in a very cold garage. It's freezing. It's 1,600 square feet and it's full up. It's full of junk. I just recently come back 2 days ago with something that I bought sight unseen. Seriously, I did. I made an offer for this vehicle and I thought they're never going to say yes, but they did. So I went up and collected it. I had to drive it back 50 miles. It hasn't been run since 2000. Well, it hasn't been on the road since 2016. I think it's been started intermittently. So I had a 40 mile drive, and I thought, okay, this could be interesting, especially when you see what it is. The car's not known for their incredible reliability, but anyway, I bought it, and now I'm going to show you what I've got. So this is my latest acquisition. It's a 1987 Jag. To quote Derek from Jaguar Garage, it's the V12 flavour, 5,340 cc's, and it's actually in amazing condition. It's got a few little issues. One of the rear brakes on the way home was grabbing, so it was a bit stinky on the way back. The dashboard lights don't work. What else is there not working on it? There's a few little bits and pieces. The exhaust is blowing, which is predictable enough. I actually just looked at it and it doesn't look too bad on me, so I don't know where it's blowing from. It sounds like it's blowing from a muffler because it's sort of got that sort of hollow muffler sounding. So, but the engine runs beautifully. The oil's so clean, it looks like water on the dipstick. It's astonishing. It's done a genuine 73,000 miles from new. It was used as part of a limousine fleet. I'm going to show you the inside. I've had one of these before, also a V12, but not nearly as nice as this one. I don't think the interior lights are working, so it's hard to see. No, they're not. But you know, the upholstery is good. It's got that sort of typical sort of Jaguar sort of upholstery, come oily, come slightly gassy smell. But the tanks are good. I'll check those. The upholstery is perfect. The dash has seen better days. I'm going to get a flashlight actually so you can actually see what's going on here. So the dash is looking a little bit, you know, you can see where it's just delaminating slightly on there, the lacquer, the clear coat. To stop flashing flashlight. But she's good. Now I'm going to show you the engine. As I said, it's a V12. It's a fantastic engine. A German, I think the head of Mercedes once described the V12 Jaguar engine as the most fantastic engine ever made in a car. And I guess BMW and Mercedes both emulated Jaguar at some point, because they both came out with V12s. There's the interior. Oh yeah, the other thing was the shift was very stiff. I guess it hasn't been used for so long. All the pivots have all seized up, or the cable or something. So this is the engine. 5.3 litres of 12-cylinder magnificence. Very complicated. Hideous to work on. I think I changed the starter motor on my last one, and it was a brutal job. So I'm going to have to do the rear brake, which is also not an easy job because they're inboard discs on these. Jaguar at this point had some very interesting features. It's fuel injected. It's not a terribly up to date, you know, high tech fuel injection system. I'm not sure you can on this one, but certainly on the earlier ones, you could actually get into the trunk space in the back and access the control module, the CPU for the fuel injection, and you could make adjustments to it. And in British Columbia, that's how people got them through air care, because they were notorious that they would fail. But this one, I think you don't think you can anymore. Now, this is what's interesting. There's a coil here. I'm going to get my flashlight. There's also a coil here. Why two coils? I'll tell you why. It's because it's a 12-cylinder, and it's got a distributor. Somewhere down if I get my flashlight to work. And the distributor, because there's a very short dwell angle between each cylinder, because it's a 12-cylinder, you've got 360 degrees. They had to sharpen up the impulse for each cylinder. So they did it very cunningly by adding a second coil without a. Basically, it's a coil they're only using half of it, because you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but they've blanked off the outlet. So they're using the low voltage, the low tension side of the coil as an inductor to sharpen up to increase the inductance, to sharpen up the spike for each cylinder and narrow it, so there's less blurring between cylinders. If this had been an American car, they probably would have just added a second distributor. I don't know if they did that with a V16 Cadillacs, probably did. But yeah, that would make sense. You just have two distributors, and you have one, halfway out of phase with the other, so you can run basically two V6 engines, or two inline six engines, depending how you wire it. But interesting. This Jag's fitted with a General Motors Turbo 400 transmission, which is an interesting choice. The engine is limited. What is it limited to? I think they're rev limited, because they're a very short stroke engine. So they rev like crazy. It's limited to 6,500. And the reason it's not limited is not to preclude engine damage. It's actually limited to preclude transmission damage, because they've used a Turbo 400. The Turbo 400 is typically used on Chevy trucks, Suburbans, all the big stuff. It's an all 3-speed. It's tough as nails. It's a little bit like Lotus going to the old Land Rover companies and using one of their 4-speed transmissions. It's a horrible match. It's a big solid transmission, but it was never designed for this sort of thing. This engine thrives on revs, so it needs something that's a bit, a manual gearbox would have been perfect for this, because you can really explore the rev range. I tend to find with these that even though they go really well, they're a little flat at low revs. Until you get the revs up, they don't really move that quickly. But once you get the revs up, they fly. And certainly with this one, I was on the highway and I just stomped on the gas at about, I was doing about, well, here it's 110, 120 kilometers an hour. It's at 70, and it absolutely flew up to 150, 160. It was effortless. It just left your stomach behind. So I'm very pleased with this. I'm very pleased it got me home without any problems. Apart from a stinky rear, a burning rear caliper. I didn't notice it dragging much, but I could smell it when I stopped at the ferry terminal to come back here. But as you can see, there's a bit of dirt down there, but there's no rust on it. It's absolutely amazing. Oh, there is. I lie. There's a tiny little bit there on the wheel arch. But you know what? Oh no, it's not that solid underneath. Oh no, it's the undercoat. That is solid underneath. And there's not really a mark on it. It's in for a sunroof. Every car should have a sunroof. I refuse to drive them with that. So there we have it. 1997 Jaguar Series 3 V12 fuel injected. As I say, I bought it sight unseen. I saw it in the ad, but I didn't see it in real life. I just made an offer, and as you do, I thought, I wonder if that's a big mistake. But actually, it wasn't. I'm absolutely delighted with it. Thank you for watching.